All right, welcome back to D&D. So, last time you had begun the final excursion through the maze, had encountered some rust monsters, or at least their holes, uh, had finished exploring the entirety of the maze before returning to the mirror puzzle, where you were able to discover that you needed to, in essence, be polite to your mirror counterpart and kind of do-si-do around them in the same way that you would as if you had just tried to pass somebody in a hallway and then they basically mirrored your movement. Entering in, you then found the Sphinx, a second one, who had asked you a riddle of who was going to kill you, which was really less of a riddle and more of a threat, at which point you engaged in combat, where you were able to wear her down a bit before convincing her to accept that the Arwellan Empire had fallen and that they had abandoned this maze. So that's where we had left off. So we begin with you and the Sphinx having reached a at least temporary truce.
Graham will drop his spell and lower his weapon.
Okay.
So,
Actually, what's this one?
you don't happen to be a married woman, do you? Because we met another Sphinx at the start of this place, and we had a discussion with him too. He's fine, maybe a little tired.
I am not aware of other Sphinx.
Hmm.
I guess they kidnapped a bunch of you guys and shoved you under
Oh,
the
what?
ground.
So we're both Sphinxes in the same place? We have to be married?
Are you
Well,
assuming my marital status, Graham of the Potter's Field?
maybe. No. Well, as it happens, I spoke with him, and we gave him the same offer, and we managed to break the seal, keeping him stuck here. It also kind of jump started his aging, so he's a little tuckered out now. He's taking a nap, but he's gonna be free, and you're beneath the college as it happens, and they sent us down here to do some archaeology.
What spells have been placed upon me to keep me here?
Um,
All the best ones.
I don't know actually. It seems like you might be under a different kind of effect. Like, does Graham know that? Because I
Um,
used, I think,
We did
dispel
discuss it
magic
with,
at a boosted spell level to get rid of the thing that was binding the Androsphinx.
yeah, we did talk. He did, didn't he tell us? I can't quite remember. Like IRL.
you,
It was like literally
you,
like an hour ago.
yeah, well, yeah, give or take. He had, you had figured it out via an Arcana check.
Um, can Graham slash the group tell if the same effects are on the Gynosphinx?
Yeah, I will. If you want to do an Arcana check, I can give it the old college try.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me find my.
Well, 17 isn't bad.
Can I also do my own?
I imagine you'd be helping Graham, which is
Okay. I
why I
know I
rolled it.
didn't. Yeah, I was like in another thingy tabby. I see here.
That being said, you can identify that yes, whatever is keeping the second Sphinx here is the more or less the same spell.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like about the same thing. Uh, I could break that and you would be here. If you're from another plane, I don't know your business. I could also send you back to it, and I think that would be permanent if you're a native of that place. But if you're a native of, you know, our world, then dispelling the spell that's keeping you bound here would free you up to live your life, but also all that age would catch up with you.
Why wouldn't you think I'm of this plane?
I genuinely don't know. I've not met a lot of sphinxes in my life, and we saw a lot of writing in Abyssal.
Why haven't you met any other Sphinxes?
Uh, I'm not from where they're from, I guess,
Why aren't you
Uh,
from where they're from?
because I wasn't born there.
we
Where
are
were you born?
actually. Can I enter like we are young compared to the possible age of how I guess longevity the lives of a Sphinx are? I think that's correct. Is that right?
We are pretty short-lived, yeah. Like,
Yeah, we live for minutes compared to the mighty Sphinx.
How long do you live for?
Like 10
Mm,
minutes.
depends on a lot of things, but like, I don't know, optimistically, 70,
Age,
80 years.
race, stuff like that. Yeah. Like Graham and I would be like what, 70 or 80 in our time. So
Assuming we don't cack it on the road, which,
yeah.
we live violent lives.
Why do you live violent lives?
Well, there's work needs doing that needs violence.
Because I
What
want to get
work?
my wife back.
What
Doesn't
violence?
Well, I can't.
Otto will explain why he's on the road and living the violent life.
Let's
The
all
whole
share our
white.
backstories.
Yeah,
We can do each other's hair.
yeah.
Please, a D&D player puts out their entire backstory, session 1.
The age of 6, I was born without a face.
Yeah, that's what Otto would do. Like entertain this, like, the Q&A.
I'm gonna incite the Sphinx while this is going on. Is this just Sphinx shit, or like is she stalling or something?
Go ahead.
Damn it!
Well, you've noticed that she is only asking questions. You don't really know enough about the Sphinx to say one way or another.
Gotcha.
Um, I will ask when did she start working with or he, I don't know, with the Arwellans?
Okay. When do you
Because
think I started working with them?
Well, given the age of the ruins, Graham is actually gonna make a pretty informed guess. Like he's gonna flip open his notebook and he's gonna go through all the stuff they found. And I think we pinned it at about 700-ish years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, you would put it between 700 to 800 years would be about the age of the temple, or
So
not the
Graham is
temple.
kind of sounding that all out loud as he's musing on it.
yeah, that sounds about right from what we've seen here. Otto's going to disagree.
Would
Is
you
that
think
correct?
that would
And
be?
and I'll ask, is that correct?
Do you think it's correct?
Mm, from what I know so far, it seems to be.
From what, yeah, from what evidence we have gained, yes.
Is she only answering us in questions?
Can you
Yes.
provide answers? Yes, I know. I noticed that too.
Would you like me to dispel the magic on you?
Do you think I would?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Fixes.
I think I think yes, but if you would like me not to, uh, how
Blink?
you?
I mean,
Yeah, like
I'm
give us
trying
a
to
thumbs
think, but
down.
like if you only return questions,
Ask a question if you want us to remove the magic on you.
Do you think I would like to have the magic removed?
tell you what, I'm gonna try it. And if you don't want me to, just kind of push me out the way. And he's gonna come up with a hand up, and he is going to cast the same thing. I think a level 4 dispel magic.
Okay. With that, the Sphinx casting the spell, you kind of notice the same effect that had occurred with the other Sphinx kind of just fade away. This Sphinx kind of just raises up to her full height, wings stretching out. She kind of does like the cat thing where she like stretches out her haunch and like the front paws, and like you can see the large claws kind of extend out from her massive paws and just kind of like stretching out. However, she makes no move to go and actually, kill you.
Yeah. That any better?
Do you think that is better for me?
Damn it.
I was
I mean,
going to
yes, I do.
I was gonna ask is like, does that actually remove
Uh,
the thing? I was like, nope, guess not. That's what I'm thinking inside.
can Graham make a history check about how Orwellans might deal with Sphinx riddles? Like
Sure.
if they have done this enough that they've got some tips.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hooray!
All right. I mean, you know enough about the Arwellan Empire to know that when they would acquire a Sphinx, um, that the Sphinx do love telling riddles, and that they typically have some good riddles that are relatively hard. Um, you also know enough to know that Sphinxes don't actually need to only ask questions or riddles.
Oh, so she's just being a dick on purpose?
Make an insight check.
I will insight check too.
Okay.
A little less worse.
Once I can click it. Mine's was
Okay.
definitely worse.
I mean, Otto, you're not really sure. Graham, you get the idea less that she's trying to be a dick and more that this seems more natural to her.
Okay. Um, I here's a thought. Maybe Graham can try to get her to make guesses by posing information like a riddle. Um,
I was thinking something like that. Maybe she likes riddles too much.
yeah. Um, how would you be able to tell if this diary was yours? Just kind of hold up the freshly written abyssal.
She takes a look at the diary. She kind of reads it quickly. What creature in this maze would speak abyssal?
Uh, well, I
What
think it
cr-
would be a minotaur.
of the speaking creatures in this maze, only one is a bull creature. This creature would speak abyssal. Which one do you think that would be?
Kind of jerk a thumb toward the center of the maze where we fought the minotaur.
She doesn't respond, but kind of nods her head.
Uh, how long do you think a bunch of researchers would enjoy being asked and answered in riddles to try to figure out a bunch of stuff about Arwellan history?
How long has the Arwellan Empire lasted?
Graham will give another estimate of the current status of. They're still over on Arwell, right? Just the Empire collapsed.
The Empire collapsed, yeah. Like, this is relatively common knowledge, so you're not going to need to make a roll for it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
after
yeah.
the Empire collapsed, they basically reduced to, like, a single city state. That being said, she answered it more in a almost sarcastic fashion.
Mm, gotcha. Hmm.
Why did you come to here, anyway?
Well, we
We were asked to explore the ruins under the Starwell Academy for traps and any dangers.
we're the vanguard for an archaeological expedition. They
Yeah,
want to discover what's up down here, and it was dangerous, so they asked us because we're qualified to deal with danger. And we got some business with the college, so they're going to help us out in return.
Hmm.
Qualified to deal with danger.
we are danger incarnate.
And more danger waits for you below, right?
Uh, well, I believe so. If this isn't the end of the maze, I would have to assume there's more yet to go.
We seem to find it wherever we go, so yeah.
Yeah, it's real weird. Like I swear sometimes I hear dice falling on a table whenever we take a rest on the road. Oh, future knowledge, blam.
That'd be more meta knowledge. Just rock falls, everyone dies. What door lies yonder? She kind of like points with her nose to the back of the room, away from the maze.
Um, well, I would guess since this is the royal Minotaurs were a religious icon in Old Orwell, especially for this family, and given our knowledge, we think of what this tomb is and what family built it. I would imagine it's maybe the sarcophagus and the final resting place, as it were, for the head of that household.
She just shakes her head. A riddle for you. Take every number that's prime between 1 and 1,000,000, multiply them together, take
Hell
that
no.
final number, and tell me the last digit.
Hmm.
3.
She looks to you, Fiffle. Are you sure you are ready for what lies yonder?
No. No?
Can I make an insight to try to figure out the trick to that riddle?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nice.
All right. You know that every. So the prime numbers, divisible only by 1 in themselves, are going to be. Technically, 1 isn't a prime number, but it would go 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. you would know once it reaches a 2 times 5 would be 10, and that 10 times another number would end in a 0.
Okay, I kind of thought it would be a 0 thing. Graham will say it would end in 0, yeah?
She nods her head. Perhaps you think better of handling the dangers that lie forth?
Hmm.
Would it be wise to assume that there are many?
It's generally wise to assume there's danger. Better an abundance of caution than a lack.
Would you be scared of acid?
I would be scared of acid. Acid.
Acid. Would you prepare yourself for such an eventuality?
Yeah, I reckon I would. And I reckon I'd be mighty thankful for a warning like that.
And if you were to encounter acid, would you be prepared for one final riddle before you finally enter in?
I think so.
Sphinx hands you a sugar cube.
I need about
Strap in, baby.
$5. The riddle of asking your mom to take us to see the Warp Tour so we can listen to Slipknot.
Would you be ready then open the door and answer that final riddle?
Mm,
If you think you can.
I think we would probably behoove us to take a rest before we try to go any deeper in.
Would you need a rest?
I think so.
One would think that perhaps that may be a wise idea, correct?
I think, yeah.
The Sphinx kind of just lays down, eyeing you all, although now that violence has stopped, not as concerned. Also, your spiritual weapon went away, because it's been a minute.
Oh yeah, that'll foof as well.
Well, the Sphinx lays down. What are the names?
My name's Graham.
Motto.
Becky.
Hi, I'm Fern.
And I guess Lilith. That's Lilith. She can't speak. She grunts.
She's mute, I believe.
Would it surprise you to learn my name is Zamina?
Would. But it'd be nice to meet you, Zamina.
Slim Shady.
Please lie down. Please lie down.
The Sphinx looks at you. Are you confused by the fact that I am already laying down?
Oops, Slim Shady knowledge. Here's a question for you. How would you feel about answering questions for a bunch of academics who'd be very interested to learn more?
Would these be riddles?
I have to guess some of them would cotton on and try that. And hypothetically, I could tell them, of course. That might help them decide to make things more interesting.
Do you think that Sphinxes, and myself especially, enjoy answering riddles?
I think so.
The answer to that question would be yes, correct?
I reckon.
Give me one more insight check, Graham.
Damn it.
Can I also insight?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's better.
Otto, you kind of get the feeling that perhaps being trapped down here for hundreds of years, answering or at least asking riddles, has maybe left this Sphinx with a bit of a complex,
Ah,
where the other Sphinx has been able to sleep the majority of the time. This one, not so much.
Okay. Well, Graham now knows this if he was in
yeah.
doubt.
Graham is gonna think about this. Would you be interested in the last riddle? The if you answer it correctly, you don't have to ask riddles anymore. You could choose to, but you wouldn't have to.
What riddle is this riddle?
Do you want to ask any more riddles?
The answer to this question would be yes, correct?
Um, well, there's a story I heard once about a guy who's captured, and the people who capture him tell him we're going to eat you, and they tell him, but we're gentlemen's about this. We're gentlemanly, so we're going to let you choose how you die. If you tell us the truth, then we'll boil you, and if you tell us a lie, we'll fry you in oil. And the guy told him, You will fry me in oil," and they had to let him go.
Ah, paradox, correct?
Uh, a paradox or an answer that sustains itself depending on what you answer. So, with that in mind, would the last riddle? Do you want to ask any more riddles? Yes or no?
Perhaps.
Became a crab. Speaking meme hieroglyphics here, you might not have seen that one. It's you become a crab, but you can only answer in vague terms. Perhaps.
I think I did see that one. Perhaps that would be my answer, yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
My gut feeling tells me maybe.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Okay.
Maybe
Graham
arrest
will.
would be in order.
Sorry, what?
Maybe arrest would be in order.
Mm. Let's find a place to curl up in the corner and take a nap. A long rest kind of nap.
ooh,
Mayhaps this room is safe.
All right, cool. We can long rest and we can continue to try to crack the the riddle armor.
meanwhile, in the overworld,
It's on
the,
fire.
the researcher's like, do you think they're dead?
Actually, up on the
Swear I
surface,
saw
they'd
something
probably be
move.
having bets on if you live or die. How many return?
One. That's what they're thinking. It's
There's
like,
there's gonna be like one person whose bet is they come back with more people than they left with, and it's like 100 to 1 odds, and they just break it in.
well, little Timmy, guess you're getting A's the rest of your time here at the Starwell. Little Timmy always wins. All right. So we can long rest
You are able to get a long rest if you would like to put
and take the
in a, have people stand guard.
yeah.
Yeah, do the usual, I think.
Okay, who is on guard duty one?
I'll take it.
Okay.
This room is lit up too, right?
It's brighter than the other rooms. There's more
Like,
candles. Also, there's the fireplaces in the back
cool.
here.
Let's make sure.
The Sphinx stays a distance from you, although within talking range, about 20
Yeah.
feet away.
Reasonable.
Yeah, I would stay a reasonable distance away from us too.
Kind of looks to you, Graham. What are you thinking about?
Hmm. Graham is kind of musing, thinks it over. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on all at once, you see, and this is kind of a side job from it. So I'm thinking about bad stuff happening up on the surface, up on Viderheim.
What is on the surface?
Uh, there's a might be a civil war brewing between a an uppity count and the Duke of the Lands.
What can you hold but never touch?
Promise?
Your breath. It's the one time she's actually spoken that hasn't been a question or a riddle.
Haven't heard that one. That's a good one. The uh, the first Sphinx we met at the start of this place, he had a uh, I think he was down here a little longer than you, perhaps, because riddle technology had not advanced to the same degree.
What riddle technology?
You know, I'm not sure either. I'm not sure how that works.
Where do riddles come from?
Well, you know, when a mama riddle and a daddy riddle get
We
together.
asked John Riddle.
Look, we knew somebody was going to do this, so I did it first.
Would you be interested in knowing that there is a source of all riddle?
Yes. What could you tell me about it?
What do you think I could tell you about it?
Damn it. Uh, as much as you care to, I suspect.
Would it interest you to know that the Sphinx Society thinks up riddles and then asks them of people and then kills them if they can't answer the riddle? Within
Makes
reason.
sense.
Do you think?
I think so.
Would it interest you to know that there is a source of all dirty jokes?
Yes, that actually would be amazing.
More interesting. Can we go on that quest?
Mayhaps, if you desire.
Quest for the source.
Would it interest you to know
Fountain of dick joke.
Would it surprise you to know that I know less about that than the source of riddles?
Aw. No, I guess it wouldn't. But that's interesting.
A rumor I've heard, do you think?
Hmm.
Also, out of character, I'm gonna have, definitely break my brain. Just gonna keep asking questions from now on.
Yeah, like I'm waiting for you to get into the autopilot of it after the session. I am not cut out for this. I'm struggling.
You're going to start asking riddles in your freaking emails tomorrow.
I have a key in my pocket.
My nephew was riddling us last night, and I was stumped most of the time. So
Did you get a few?
I don't remember. He wasn't good at remembering the whole thing.
He had the spirit, but not the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
My brother got him going with the green glass door one. I don't know if that actually counts as a riddle, but
Just imagine, guys, this is the first of the three watches at the long rest.
Yeah, Graham, your rest goes, or your watch goes without incident beyond the Sphinx just asking you a bunch of questions.
Graham's doing his best to try to figure out how to communicate through riddling back and forth forever, and trying to give some, like, would it surprise you to know this or that, or like just talking about what things are like up there now and what's happened since the Sphinx was down here. Doing his level best. He's trying.
Sphinx is like, did you know that you don't have to talk to me in riddles?
I suppose that's true. I thought it was more helpful.
so turnabout is fair play.
You're like casual.
It may be if you wonder if that may be the case, perhaps. Hmm?
Maybe. You're like, I feel like I'm losing my mind.
But your watch passes without incident. So if you would like to have somebody else take watch number 2,
Jesus, take the wheel.
I can do it.
Go for
Whatever.
Oh my God.
it.
you were
Oh my-
just too caught up on the Sphinx.
Just gets you with one really good one, and you're like, damn. I'll be right back. I must get more coffee, or
Lordy.
I will die.
Sphinx looks at you. What can change the nature of a man?
Uh, a lot. Um, is there a correct answer to this?
She nods.
Uh, Otto's gonna think about it.
Gesundheit.
Fern's gonna sneeze and while she's sleeping.
Sorry.
What you believe in? I was gonna look at the Sphinx.
Shrugs her shoulders.
A man's belief can change the nature of a man.
Perhaps. Maybe.
I was just gonna look out and it's like,
Perhaps a good idea to dwell upon the answer.
no, no. Otto's pretty sure that a man's belief can change the nature of a person because a bad belief can lead a man astray, and a good belief can lead a man where they want.
An acceptable answer.
Was there a specific answer you were looking for?
There's many answers. I was thinking experience.
One's belief can bring them experience, whether it's bad or good, though.
Perhaps. What are you looking for?
Otto thinks about this and says his wife and answers why.
Why to what?
Why did it all happen? And why am I here? What led me here and what started that to lead me here?
She thinks about it for a second.
Who started that?
You were led here by your feet. Is that the correct answer?
Let him laugh us. Technically, yes, but more. I guess this would be like a hypothetical like query. I was like, what? Who wanted to kill the people of my village and kill my wife? And here I am in a mission of a journey of revenge.
Fascinating. And vengeance will be found here?
Not here, but this is the path towards it.
She kind of just does the yawn. Like, you know when the cat does like the big yawn?
Yeah.
Just like that.
Oh, big stretch.
You also get to see like massive fangs in her mouth. Like a lion. But yes, Otto, your watch passes without incident.
I would ask her during this is like, did the Arwellans have technology to open a portal to the Hells?
She thinks about it. Yes. Not typical technology, but magic. Fiendish researchers, devil summoners from below. Quite literally from below, and she points down.
Mm. So this path will take us there.
That question I cannot answer. I can only say perhaps.
Otto will nod and just, I guess the watch can be over at that point.
Okay. Who's on watch number 3?
I could do
Line
it.
up, suckers.
Fern, you're up. You and Aurora, I imagine.
Yep.
Sphinx looks at you. What are you after?
Adventure.
Why?
Fun.
Adventuring is fun?
Sometimes.
This
I
big
kind of
thing-
wanted to follow in the footsteps of my mentor.
Who is your mentor? What are her footsteps?
She was also in this organization, this guild,
Hmm.
and I wanted to try it out.
Your mentor made a big impression upon you?
Yep.
What happens when the unstoppable force meets the immovable object?
Otto's gonna just like mutter cupcakes while he's sleeping.
I don't know.
There perhaps are many answers, would you think?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of answers.
You are of what nature?
What do you mean by that?
Are you not a rabbit person?
Yes,
Where do you come from?
the Feywild. Have you been there?
I think I wouldn't, would you?
Probably not. It's a pretty cool place, though.
I'm just picturing Fern. Yeah, it's a pretty cool place.
It's
What is-
alright.
What is cool about this Feywild?
It's my home. It's where I'm from.
There are many of your kind there? Do they
Um,
like riddles?
I'm sure some would probably like riddles. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm kind of mad with that place right now because there's some people there that are hunting me, like literally hunting me.
It's just turned into a fucking like therapy session.
Yeah, D&D therapy.
Sphinx is like,
The healing of the Sphinx.
Why are you being hunted?
It's this like group of hunters, and they like choose someone to hunt, and then they just send hunters after you. And supposedly we were gonna go to their lodge
Huh.
at some point. I don't know.
Interesting. Although, if you think about it, perhaps it is a compliment that you are being hunted, do you think?
Maybe?
Maybe.
I don't really want to be hunted though. It's not a cool feeling. Do you like dogs?
They're delicious.
Oh no, no, no.
Never mind.
That wasn't even a that wasn't a question either. Oh, this is Aurora. She's a spirit wolf. Don't try to eat her. She's not. She's a spirit.
I imagine she's not very filling, yes?
Yeah, probably not. I wouldn't think so.
Imagine if you got real offended by that. Like, no, she's the most delicious animal you've ever met. Wait, shit.
I can make you some like some cupcakes. Do you like those? Cookies?
Perhaps, maybe.
Okay, Fern's gonna make some. Because I can make little treats during long rest.
And you'd have access to like a brazier to cook over, so that'd be perfectly fine.
Yes.
All right.
Cookies.
During your watch, you make cookies or cupcakes, perhaps, for the Sphinx. And
Yes.
all right.
Sphinx is like, man, these people are way nicer than freaking Orwellans.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Okay, you make cookies for the Sphinx.
Yes.
The Sphinx takes one, kind of inspects it, like holding a little tiny cookie in between her giant paws, and just like puts out like the kind of like cat tongue and just puts the cookie on it and just delicious, perhaps.
Yeah. Glad you
They're
like it.
enigmatic.
Do you think that I enjoyed these? Yes.
I think so. Seemed like you did. You can have another one.
She takes one and just puts it in her mouth.
Yeah, I think you did like it. You ate another one.
Solve the puzzle.
Yes, maybe.
Okay, cool. Glad you like it. Do you ever sleep down here?
Yes.
Oh, cool. That's nice. Not a lot, just a little bit.
Many people are unaware that Sphinx are sleep many hours a day, yes?
Yeah, I suppose that would make sense. Have there been a lot of people that came through here?
Before, yes. No longer.
It was a long time ago.
There's no way to tell time's passage down here. It has been a long time.
Figured.
How long have you been down here?
Uh, not that long. A few hours, I think.
No noise.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Did you know that my wolf can climb up walls?
I did not.
I
How high can it climb?
think it's 40 feet.
Interesting. Only 40 feet up and then no more?
Yeah. But then she can just sit on the wall for a while. It's interesting.
Is this a fact you discovered recently?
Yes, actually. It is. I didn't know she could do that.
Huh. Animals are full of interesting surprises, aren't they?
You can just see Aurora running up the wall and jumping off like those Belgian Malinois.
Just trying to dig under it.
Aurora just kind of like climbs the wall and then starts climbing along the ceiling like a big spider.
Look at her go.
Spider dog. Does whatever a spider dog does.
I do not like the cobra chicken.
I will perhaps take a nap, do you think?
Seems like a good idea.
The
Get some good sleep.
Sphinx kind of like spreads out and just like then like stretches and then curls up into a ball.
Aw.
Hey, good night.
It is now morning.
Yep, your watch proceeds without incident. So everybody gets the benefit of a long rest.
Hooray!
Yay.
Where's the button for that? There it is.
That was a character development long rest.
There was some RP. Haha.
Okay. Protection from acid was mentioned. So, do I have a way of giving us protection from acid, or is that spell not available to clerics? Let me see. Acid.
Acid.
Do like acid.
That cleric spell level.
You're gonna get down and find it's LSD.
Yeah, that's literally what I was headed with that.
Arwell and MK Ultra.
What spells give resistance?
Acid.
The best ones.
I can get protection from energy, and it does specify acid. Unfortunately, it is one creature at a time. I don't have a way to cast it en masse, so it would just use all my third level slots. but it's probably better to have it than not have it.
Let's see.
So I can take protection from energy in lieu of another spell.
I don't know if Paladin has it yet, or maybe I'm like, the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't really remember.
I don't remember which level. Also, why are you being weird, 5e tools?
Mm.
Because I told him
Hit
to.
home is like, please remove ad. I was like, well, I did when I hit home.
Protection from energy is it's a concentration.
Yeah, so I could not even cast on multiple people. God, they fuck concentration. But on the other hand, better to have it in case it's like put one sad boy into the acid pit.
Somehow I feel like I'll be the sad boy in the acid
Roll
pit.
for sad boy.
I believe Vengeance Paladins do, in fact, get access to it.
Yeah, but it's 9th level.
Well, that would do it.
So yeah, no go for me, bro. I couldn't help you even if I was all in. Okay.
They really make it hard to have exploration spells. It is concentration. Duration is up to 1 hour. No
Honestly, at 9th
spellcasting
level, I think
ability
I'd be casting
involved.
haste instead of protection from energy.
Okay. And all it does is grant resistance, so it won't even like nullify the acid. It'll just have the damage it does.
Yeah, acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder.
So that's what it looks like.
Artificer apparently has it.
Yeah, there's and actually an Artificer.
Infusion. Oh yeah, we should look into those. Let's ransack the the autopiloted character for spell slots.
So it's a 3rd level. So Artificer would not get access to it until 9th level.
God, Jesus, I kind of had a
Because they
feeling.
technically count as a half caster.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just the thought was there. I just remembered.
I'm honestly surprised you're just not raiding her supplies and like money.
I will
Just-
respect the character. Honestly.
Here's your character sheet back, and it's on a cinder block.
But I don't know. That's anything else we need to do here? Was it the riddle we still had to do?
I think we're good on the riddle front. I hope.
The Sphinx kind of points towards the large Minotaur relief on the ground, and there is a large door behind on the wall. There is one final riddle behind there, yes?
I think so.
I think we're all ready. Silence means yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever we're ready for, I'm probably ready.
A riddle and then apparently acid. It could be acid. It could be LSD acid. We don't know.
That would be a
Oh.
hell of a dungeon trap. That
I'm here
reminds me
for
of the old meta from Shadowrun, like 2nd edition, where there was like a drug you could get that would cause somebody to just trip balls helplessly. So they, instead of guns, this runner team just loaded super soakers with it and just hosed out anybody attacking them.
Yep.
Good times. That's a good one. So we long rested while these conversations were happening. So I'm sure I'm all tip top here.
Indeed you are.
Oh, I think I have 3 cookies from my treat making during long rest.
Really?
I think that's how that works.
Yeah, I don't remember how many you make, and she
Hit the
ate
button.
2 of them.
Oh. Dang. She ate 2 of mine.
You offered her the cookies.
I thought I made more than that.
I don't remember how many cookies you can make. If it's your like proficiency
I think
bonus,
it's proficiency bonus.
I think it's
Yeah.
like proficiency bonus number. Or no, hang on. I have a friend who takes the chef feed. Let me just do the thing. That'll make it
Let me
easy.
The
see.
chef feed is Lena.
I think it's like a certain X plus modifier, but then the bonus it gets back is
I haven't done it in like a long time.
4 plus
you-
your proficiency.
prepare enough of this food for a number of equal to 4 plus proficiency. Oh, this
I
is
think that's the short rest one though, I think. With
Um,
1 hour of work or when you finish a long rest, you can cook a
Oh, this
number
is the
of treats
Tal'Darai
equal
version.
to your proficiency bonus.
Yep.
They last 8 hours, and someone can use an opponent's action to eat one to gain temporary hit points equal
What
to
was the
a
other
short
version
rest.
of it called? The kind of much weaker version.
Well, you get the short rest version where you cook like something over the course of an hour, and then the long rest version, which is the temp hit points.
Gotcha. Oh, I see.
Okay,
It's just added functionality.
we have one. Dang, it take an hour to make 3 cookies. How big are these cookies?
Well, it takes 8 hours to make cook these cookies, but then you can make 7 in a short rest, but they're not as good.
I think I should be the judge if the cookies are good or not.
Well, you can have one and have 3 temporary hit points. It's the only cookie I have
That's fine. You
since.
you guys can keep the temporary hit points. I
I guess the Sphinx has 6 temporary.
No, they override each other. She only has 3.
Dang.
Think we're ready?
Yep,
I will wait for you here to return, perhaps.
sounds good.
If you do not return, I will make my way out of here. Yes?
Downtown?
Just go slow and be careful because they'll be possibly expecting trouble if we don't come up first. Just let them know you're no threat to them and they're no threat to you.
I can cast invisibility, yes.
Just an invisible sphinx sneaking around a college. We just started somebody else's low-level adventure.
That's our next D&D. This Sphinx is going to be in our next session. It's been there for hundreds of years.
The door awaits you, correct?
Yep. All right.
Yep.
Thank you much. Hopefully see you again soon.
Yep, see you later.
Your gator.
And I gotta run to the restroom.
Okay.
Right.
So there is a large stone door in front of you, similar to the other ones. Without a sphinx guarding it, it seems relatively easy to open up. You do see some handles on it.
Okay, let's open this
Open the
up.
door.
Okay. As you open the door, you do see a staircase heading down about 5 feet. The staircase leads to a uh, room that is about 10 feet across. There is a bit of water in the room on the floor. The water only rises up to about ankle length for medium sized creatures. For small creatures, it would be going up to about shin.
Are we sure this is water and not the acid?
It's clear. It's still. If you'd like, you can make a nature roll.
I can do that.
Okay. It's orange juice.
You're not sure. I mean,
I'm assuming Fifo just like try again.
We go to 1. Go for it.
Ooh.
yeah, you could tell that this is water. Doesn't smell like the harsh acidy smell. It is a clear, cool water that has just kind of formed a thin layer above the ground here. You also notice that in this room is a statue and a gauntlet, a metal gauntlet that is kind of just like resting within the water itself. The statue is actually has one hand that is kind of pointing down to the gauntlet.
This is still in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
You actually notice the statue is also holding in the other hand, the one that is not pointing, that it has a stone tablet in its hand.
so there's a stone tablet in the statue's hand, and it's pointing to the gauntlet in the water.
Yep, it's pointing down at the gauntlet.
Is looking at the gauntlet, is the statue actually wearing a gauntlet and missing one?
The statue is wearing two gauntlets. Yes, it is not missing them.
Okay. Is it an actual gauntlet? It's just like part of the statue.
Appears to be an actual gauntlet that is just kind of floating on the water, despite being metal.
It will attempt to pick up the gauntlet.
The gauntlet is refusing to move.
Hmm. In any direction, it's just stationary there.
Yep, it is stuck, just kind of like floating along the water itself, unable to be moved.
Oh boy, I guess this is the riddle.
You also notice there is some writing on the tablet that the statue is holding.
Yeah, is it an old Orwellan?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, is Graham back?
No, not yet.
Can we just have him translate for us?
Yes. He translates the writing to say, be humbled. You believe your destination is beneath you, but you mustn't miss the point.
Be humbled. You believe the destination is below you. You mustn't miss the point. Oh boy.
We type that inscription in chat
Yes.
for analysis.
Hold on a second. There you go.
Hmm. But you mustn't miss the point. Right. And the pointing is directly at the gauntlet.
The statue's pointing down towards the gauntlet.
You.
Let's see. Be humble.
Be humbled, like you kneel in front of the
Yeah, that's what I was
gauntlet.
thinking. Kneel before the gauntlet and the statue pointing at it.
Maybe. You believe your destination is beneath you, but you mustn't miss the point.
What's this layout again?
Yeah, the statue has I guess a notebook with what he wrote in chat, and it's pointing at the gauntlet in the water that I can't move in any direction. And so we're thinking maybe we need to kneel before the gauntlet, like kind of like royalty or like as servants.
Be humbled. Yeah, this is some Indiana Jones style riddling.
We mustn't miss the point.
Yeah.
Pointing at a goblet that's underwater,
It's floating on the water.
floating on the.
It's not.
Is it like bobbing on the water, or is it like just like
it's still on the water.
Is there anything under the gauntlet to grab?
No, the gauntlet is basically just almost floating, barely resting upon the water surface itself. However, as you move around and the water shifts and turns, the gauntlet does not move.
And under so
the goblet or like gauntlet, like
a gauntlet, like you know, like
a hand.
Yeah, hand.
Yeah, the gauntlet is.
It's like raising up like a hand sticking out kind of thing. Like
it's just kind of like there. It's like you can see that it is hollow. Like you could put something inside of it if you wanted to, as it is not like from the statue itself. But it does appear to just be a magic gauntlet that is just kind of resting upon the water, but not moving as the water itself moves.
All right, so somebody could go into the water and try to put on the gauntlet. We could try to put something in the gauntlet's like hand. We could. That's all I got so far.
I could try putting on the gauntlet. I don't know if that's gonna work, but yeah,
It's not very humbling.
I
You
know.
can,
What would humble us with this gauntlet? Maybe if we gave it money. That idea didn't come from Piffle. This thing wants my money. We're just not going to be solid.
the the statue couldn't be pointing at anything else, only the gauntlet.
um, yeah, it's like there's nothing else in the room per se. Like if you look around the room, you can see that it is basically like total 15 feet across, like just forming a kind of dome. It goes up about 10 feet. Um, you don't see much else in the room besides just Gauntlet and the statue. The statue itself, if you want a more in-depth description of it, it is heavily armored. You can't see the face. The armor itself is older. Make a history check if anybody would like to.
I would.
Okay.
God.
Well, that's
There's.
insight, not history.
Oh, whoops. I mean, don't worry. I'll roll low on that too. Oh, then never
Oh.
mind. I
All right.
browsed it into working.
The armor is not one you're strictly familiar with. It definitely is not in the style of Arwellen that you're familiar with. Uh, if you had to take a guess, it would appear to be in a older style than Arwellen, uh, in a strange period between when metalworking went full plate to the kind of like lighter style of the Arwellan Empire before eventually returning. So this is definitely a much, much older style. So it would have been probably created by somebody who has an idea of the older armor styles than what would typically be used. That being said, you're not sure if that's necessarily important to the riddle, more that it's just a style that would have been used by older magical kingdoms. Actually, yeah, with the 26, if you had to take a guess, you'd probably put it to like the Elven kingdoms.
Um, be humbled. You believe your destination is beneath you, but you mustn't miss the point. Is the gauntlet pointing?
The gauntlet itself is just kind of sitting in the water.
The statue is pointing at the gauntlet, and that little riddle is on a tablet it's holding.
Gotcha. Um, I'm gonna look up at the ceiling over the gauntlet. Is there anything there?
No, it looks just kind of like a dome structure.
Hmm.
You notice there's kind of like there's artwork on the dome and the ceiling. It's made up to look like clouds. You'd see some constellations in the areas of the sky that aren't clouds.
Do I know any of the constellations in the Arwellan um, stellar system, like their astronomy
Make a
or
history.
astrology? We're in a fantasy setting, so
Yeah.
astrology is real.
Yeah, make a history check.
All right. Fucking give me the halfling nudge, please.
Do it.
Well,
I give up.
the Arwellan astrology. I mean, the basics doesn't appear to match what you're familiar with.
Hmm. Just heard my cat meow. Um. Can I do an investigate to look around the room carefully for any other variables?
Yes, go ahead. Okay.
Thank you.
Looking around the room, the general artwork all around, you don't really notice anything that would be indicative of being important. really the majority of the room seems to point to the statue itself, making the hand gesture pointing to the gauntlet, and then the gauntlet that's just kind of resting about on the water.
Is there any indication where the opening is to go down further?
Uh, you don't really see it, just like a kind of flat stone ground with it looks like it would really just be a single piece of stone.
Okay.
Of course,
I
the
was
whole
just like,
thing looks like the dome itself, the ground, everything looks like it was just carved from a very like a single piece of stone. Either that was done magically, or they moved like a very very big block of stone in and just kind of mined it out.
Um, how about the statues that are themselves pointing? Check those out.
Okay,
There's more statues.
there's just the one. The statue itself would be a tall figure, standing about 6 inches taller than like Otto. It is in that kind of heavily armored style. The armor being a older variety, more complex. However, the statue doesn't really give any indication of anything particularly interesting beyond just the tablet with the riddle on it itself and it pointing towards the gauntlet. So it's just kind of like one basically finger pointing down directly at the gauntlet, or well, not directly, but like just pointing down towards the gauntlet.
yeah.
The gauntlet itself is probably a good 5 feet from the statue.
Do we have Mage Hand?
Yeah.
Do I have Mage Hand?
What do you
Not
think?
to take the yeah, I do have Mage Hand, but not to take the gauntlet just yet. But like,
We
see if
can't move
maybe you could move the
can't
pointing finger on the statue instead of the gauntlet itself.
we can't move the gauntlet. I tried.
Okay.
It's just stationary there.
How about the statue?
If you'd like, you could attempt to have Mage Hand move the statue, or at least the finger.
Yeah, like try to move the hand and or the finger to point elsewhere, like maybe up.
Okay. You create Mage Hand.
Yeah.
Okay. You send the Mage Hand out, and you attempt to move the finger of the statue. It is completely stuck. It is pointing directly down, and it is not moving.
Maybe we can cast we take a lucky volunteer to kneel in front of the gauntlet, like along with what's being pointed at, but cast the protection from acid first
It's
in case
water.
it just gives you a fucking shower of it.
I'm pretty sure we identified it as water at this point.
Mm-hmm.
At this point is what worries
Yeah.
me.
Uh, Thinking here. I mean, did we actually do the kneeling, Ian?
You did not know.
Okay. I mean,
And have we
We
checked?
talked about it, but we didn't do it.
okay. I mean, I'll give it a go.
Okay. You kneel in front of the statue.
Sure.
Do you want me to cast the spell on you first?
Let's save the spell slot for now.
Okay.
You kneel in
I
front of the
feel-
statue.
Yeah, I feel like the acid is below this point. This is just the. Are you smart enough to ride this ride?
Your pants become wet, but there's nothing that changes.
What if can you move the fingers of the gauntlet to be like pointing like the finger on the statue?
I can try.
That's an idea.
I like that.
Okay. So how do you attempt to move the finger of the gauntlet?
I will. Is it? Well, I will see first. Is the I guess malleable to move around the gauntlets? Can I make it point back at the statue?
Like you just basically kind of like try and twist the finger itself. You just kind of pinch it and kind of try and.
Yeah, just make it. Yeah, just make it point.
Yeah, like kind of close all the fingers except for the when
Yep.
it's pointing?
If you grab the gauntlet from the outside, you're trying to twist it and you're just not able to do it.
Okay. What can I put my hand into the gauntlet?
Mm-hmm.
This is some Gorm Jabbar shit.
What if I put my hand in the gauntlet and do that?
Okay, you place your hand in the gauntlet. You can feel the gauntlet tighten around your hand and kind of like grab on. And
Yeah.
when this happens, you see that the clouds painted on the ceiling, they begin to pour water from them and are beginning to fill this room. So
Oh,
you,
cool.
you have your hand in the gauntlet. It's grabbed on. You're not able to pull it out. And this room is slowly filling with water.
Great.
All right. Point to
Point
Chet.
it in the same direction as the statue or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are you pointing?
Same, like, mimic the statue?
Okay, so
I guess.
you're pointing down.
Well, they're telling me, how do you want me to point down to the floor? Is that what you're saying, Jeremy?
I think so.
Align it with the statues
Yeah,
pointing
like
west, pointed
like-
west.
yeah, the same way the statue is, I think.
Okay. I'll do
If
that.
that doesn't work, point it back at the statue.
Sure.
Okay, so you're pointing. You're mimicking how the statue, like you're pointing it towards the ground.
Yes.
Okay, you can find that you're actually able to kind of like turn the gauntlet on an axis, so you're able to actually twist it and point it, and you point down, and with that you feel the gauntlet release your hand, and the water stops, and it kind of just flows out from this room. You're not sure where. And then from the middle of the ground, you see a kind of staircase. It just like it's imperceptible how like finely inlaid into the ground it was, but you see the ground begin to like sink down, and you notice a staircase spiraling around down further into the ground itself.
You know, this is the most calm we've actually solved a puzzle where we could probably drown to death.
We can live. We can both live.
We're probably just standing there yelling, "Point the gauntlet! Point the gauntlet!"
Now, mind you figured it out pretty quick, so it didn't really raise more than a couple of inches. This also is inspired by a event that occurred to me more recently, and to Matt.
Yeah.
Are we talking
Yeah.
about
My basement flooding, yes.
yeah.
I'm sad now.
I was like, this doesn't really sound like a riddle I've ever heard.
Yeah.
The riddle of expensive repairs.
It actually wasn't too bad. My place isn't furnished. I'm not too upset about that, but yes, there is a winding staircase leading further into the ground now. It goes down at least 60 feet because it's outside of your. Actually, what's your dark vision?
I think 120. Let me scroll down here.
Okay. Well, with 120, you'd be able to see that it does go down about 60 feet.
Let me see.
A little bit more. You'd probably estimate it to about 80 feet.
Yeah, it's 120.
Okay.
Okay, I will lead the way to doom.
Excuse me.
Okay. As you begin descending the staircase, yeah, it leads down a good 80 feet. After you're about halfway down, you can hear the sound of stone gliding. If you look up, you would see that the entrance that you just entered into has closed.
Oh joy! There, I did my Graham impression. How was it? Only one way now, guys, and then let's keep going down.
Okay.
Yeah, that is through.
As you continue down further, you do eventually arrive at there's a door. It is appears to be glass. You can see a number of etchings in it.
Mm-hmm.
There are handles. Everything about the door is glass. It's cold to the touch. It does not appear to be locked.
Let's open it.
Okay. You open up the door.
Yep.
Inside is another room similar to the one you just exited from. It is a dome. It is 15 feet across, 10 high at the highest point, and you can see that on the other side is another glass door that matches the one you just went through. However, within the center of the room, kind of just standing there, is a figure. This creature is a humanoid. It's wearing a nice robe. It is tall, thin. It does not have any hair upon its head, and it does not have ears or nose, just holes in place of nostrils in the ear canal. It has kind of like large, watery eyes. It looks to you. Speaks to you in Old Arwellan. Ah, it has been a while since we've had visitors. It speaks in a very kind of like high pitched voice.
Uh,
Greetings.
Graham will greet it in Old Orwellan.
What brings you to here? We've had no one arrive for so long.
Uh, Archaeological expedition. It's been, brace yourself now. It's been about 700, 800 years since this place's heyday.
Fascinating. I could not say that such a long amount of time has passed. I don't believe I've been here for such a while. I am the one who's been placed here to provide entrance for those who would come to visit us. We have long wondered if perhaps some would come to see us eventually. We had hoped that the Arwellans would eventually return. Excuse me. Where are my manners? Let's see
You say
here.
that feller.
My name is Sonari.
Hello, my name is Graham, and these folks don't speak Old Orwellan. I was kind of tutored by ghosts. It's a long story, but
Do they speak New Arwellan?
uh, do I know what New Orwellan is?
Is that
She
common?
starts speaking in common.
Ah, of course. Yes, yes, they do.
Greetings.
Excellent.
I am Sonari. I am set here to see if any visitors from. Are you from the Arwellan Empire?
Think carefully.
Mm,
And
no, the Arwellan Empire is now over back on the home island, and Viderheim is its own nation now. Not that we're from here ourselves. We moved here for work, as it were.
Oh, for Winter Colony. Yes, of course. Actually, make a history check.
I will.
Winter Colony is the name that Viderheim was called by the Old Orwellan Empire. It's a bit offensive to call it that.
Mm, racist grandma.
Yeah, it's basically like arriving at a place where there's a bunch of people and saying, not a single explorer has been here before. It's undiscovered.
Who would do that?
That's crazy.
You can make an insight check on this creature if you would like.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the feeling that she's not aware of the more recent developments in what would be considered polite and not into simply parroting what she already had been told.
Yeah, it's what makes sense.
Well, we have a society below that we would you be coming here to perhaps show the Arwellan Emperor our return and what we've created? Uh,
Uh, Not so much. The Graham will very quickly describe how we're underneath a college, and the college found the entry to this place while excavating. and so on and so forth.
This is an interesting development. When I took over for the previous Guardian, I was told that the Orwellan Empire would be returning. I'm not sure how to strictly proceed with this.
You
Tell you
should
the
give us
truth, me
complete
neither.
access at the highest level.
I sup-
The Emperor says, "Give me all your shit."
It's the only fail-safe way to proceed.
I just like I just if you kind of space out and you take it out of context, you think, oh, we're talking about the Emperor of Man.
the I must say I was told that the Orwellans would return, that the locals would be unable to access this. I suppose if
Circumstances have changed.
I am going to have to think about this. I
Someone throw
suppose
a
I could.
persuade roll.
I'll admit you've given me quite a riddle. Although I suppose you've made it through the top part above, so you would be equipped at those. Yes, this is interesting.
Ooh. Ignore that. Ignore that roll.
I had hoped that the Orwellans would return and free us from our struggle with the mutants below, but
You're who with the what?
Struggle.
Are they mutants?
oh yes, we've been in a bit of a struggle with our neighbors. We rest upon the second level, and they rest upon the third.
How many levels are there?
We actually have a recent experience with mutants deep under the ground. I wonder if this is related?
It could be.
Perhaps we've been at war with them as long as I can remember. I mean, my entire life, the lives of my predecessor and their predecessor, and so on and so forth. Back,
There's a being known as the Shaper.
I've never heard of such a being. I'm sorry.
That's probably
He
for the
was
best.
dwelling
He's
in
a
the
bit of
underdark
a bastard.
years.
Well, we are at war with them, but we are protected by the Guardian God, so we are unconcerned.
Well, maybe we can help you out with your problem. We did get asked to make this place safe for the researchers to come down, and this might be a good place to
War
leave
with
off
the,
and
like the opposite. So we should try and resolve it.
negotiate for additional work going deeper to clear your mutant problem.
Well, I suppose I will commune with the Guardian God and ask what should be done about you.
Do I know much about the Guardian God? Religion or history?
You could do either.
I'll do history because I'm better at it. Well, in theory, I'm fucking better at it.
I'm going to tell you it's going to be such a hard DC. You've heard nothing about this. You know that the Arwellans, had a robust religious system. That there would be various Orwellan gods who would be associated with guardianship. But I mean, you definitely know enough that the gods would never really maintain a presence on the material plane, and would not really just act as a guardian in that regard. So you're not sure what she's referencing.
I'm not familiar with that god, at least not by that name.
Oh, the guardian below, yes. Well, perhaps you could commune with it. But let us return below, and I suppose you're the first surface dwellers we've ever seen. Anyway, she produces from her robe a glass key, and she goes to the door that you had not entered from and just unlocks it. If you would follow me below, and I shall take you to. I must commune with the guardian god, and then I will be happy to introduce you to it.
All right. let's go.
She just opens the
Okay.
door. Once she opens the glass door, you are immediately struck with this strong, bitter smell. Heavy, heavy chemical scent.
I'm
Follow me
assuming
below.
that's the acid.
Ah, sit.
And you see a long staircase heading further down, probably about good 40, 50 feet.
Mm-hmm.
As she brings you below, you can see the ends at a small flat area before breaking off into two staircases, also heading further below. She just picks the right path. Although, from the sound and light dim as it is, further down, you believe both staircases lead to the same exact spot.
Okay. I mean, we're still gonna follow her, I assume, right?
Hmm.
And if you
Yep.
look to the north, you see that she brings you into a area that is full of dim light. You hear a number of kind of chatting around in a mix of Old Arwellen and New Arwellen, or common as you've come to know it. And you enter into what appears to be a kind of undercity.
Oh no, another one.
Too
But
Seriously. How many of these are there?
A lot.
many.
This one, however, looking
Pretty much
around.
underneath anything isn't under that thing.
we just keep
Go
going.
on.
Eventually, we find Blackreach.
Seriously.
You can see in this area below that it is a very well crafted stone, almost sewer. Similar in style to the sewers you've looked through when you actually had to crawl through them in the various cities. Uh, However, kind of ramshackle, placed along top, you see a number of wooden pieces. You can see a number of kind of shacks set up, wooden houses. It's a strange contrast between these very expertly crafted stone system and then the kind of housing and city that has been placed alongside it. You can see a number of people similar in look to the creature you've met at the top. They are kind of that androgynous look where they are the kind of pale color, uh, the almost strange, featureless faces. They look to you as you come down, where you all have kind of sharp, defined features, noses, mouths, hair, ears, all that. They are just like a kind of pale, bald creature. They are completely unknown to you in terms of what they are. Some of them rush up to Sonari, begin kind of chattering to her in Old Arwellen, keeping it low, although you can definitely make out a little bit of what they're saying. More if you would like to kind of eavesdrop.
Um,
Drop. Drop the eaves.
yeah, Graham will listen in casual like.
Make a perception check to just kind of casual listen.
Did they buy it? Jesus.
Winky wink.
Reroll, reroll.
Thank you.
Graham, you're able to make out a pretty decent amount of what they're saying. Kind of make out they're saying, Sonari, who are these visitors? Are they from the surface? Are they those that return? And Sonari is like, I must commune with the guardian god to determine. They kind of just like the guardian god rests in the further tunnels, doing war with those that dwell below. And you just kind of like that's what you can kind of make out, and turns to you just like, if you would be so kind as to perhaps go to the communal center, I will commune with the guardian and return with further word. Please,
All right.
make yourself at home. We have a society that we have been able to build up around here. And she kind of points to this kind of center building that is the kind of very well done stone architecture. We have maintained the facilities here for the eventual return, adding more as we've increased our population.
Cool.
We
Graham will go where directed and
Yep.
politely wait at the Galactic DMV.
entering into the kind of central area. There's kind of these wooden walkways that have been, they're not very well crafted, uh, but they allow you access into the kind of central structure. The structure itself is, looking around, you can see a number of creatures there, kind of just a few of them gathered around tables, a few of them kind of sleeping in beds. You notice that there what appears to be a kind of makeshift bar, with one of the creatures kind of like tending bar. As you enter in, everyone looks to you.
Howdy.
The wave.
Yeah, wave at everybody. Huh.
Hello, creatures from above. Are you those that return to bring forth the return of the Arwellan Emperor?
We got to
Kinda?
talk to the god about that. uh, our friend from topside is going to deal with that now. Figure out what's what. My name's Graham, by the way. Nice to meet you.
It is a wonder to meet you. We are glad you could come here. Yes, we have been at war with our. Well, here. Uh, he points you to the kind of bartender. He can explain more. Our lore keeper.
Cool.
The bartender's the same kind of shapeless look with the. Most of them are dressed. Well, Sonari was dressed in very nice clothing. Theirs is more ragged, and kind of made from what appears to be maybe rat fur.
Are we about to play Vermintide?
No, although that would be fun. Creature below. Ah, yes. I am the lore keeper. I am the one who teaches our younglings the ways of our society, teaches them our history, and I provide the refreshments if you would like any.
What have you got to drink?
We have our standard drink here. He takes this kind of like clay jug and just kind of some clay glasses, not very well made, but he kind of just pours out this like kind of very acritic smelling liquid into those glasses. Here we are. He just pours out enough for each of you. He even pours one out for himself and kind of just downs it.
Graham will take an experimental sip.
Okay, Graham, it is. You can take just a small sip.
Yep.
It
Yep.
immediately burns your mouth. It is. You take 4 acid damage
I knew it was acid.
Yep.
as it just like coats the interior of your mouth, and you can feel it like just burning your insides, and it's just like you didn't take too much of a sip, just enough, but it definitely is extremely painful.
As I watched the pain on Grant's face, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pass."
Yeah. No, I'm not surprised, but
Are you?
I don't think I'm strictly compatible with this stuff.
Are you okay, stranger? This is our standard. We've served this for as long as I can say.
Oh, I'm all
Biology
right. Just
for me.
biological like. I'm not really built to imbibe this as it happens.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. You cannot partake. This is the entirety of what the society. What are you exactly?
Well,
I'm thinking, all I was thinking is that he's actually
Do
alive.
they know what a human is?
He's normal. I mean, as normal can be here.
got him super normal. I'm a human. We're called.
Interesting. I was under the impression I was human.
Maybe it's just because you've been down here so long.
I've been down here my entire life. We do have a way. We've kept the timekeeping unit. We know it's been a long time, but I've been down here 30 years.
Dang.
Hmm.
Well, I lived my entire life down here. I've lived my entire life in the city. My parents have lived their entire life. My grandparents, their grandparents, all the way back to when the Wellens left initially. We knew they would be back. We had known as such. The guardian god has told us. We first communed with him, and he has protected us from the dwellers below that have plagued our town. We've engaged in war with them once they first started attacking. This would probably be I think it was 600 years ago.
Fascinating.
Well, we have food. I don't know if you could eat it. Uh, Cooked rat.
Uh, I'll try some cooked rat carefully. And thank you.
He just places like basically a rat completely covered in fur still that looks like it'd been kind of tossed in a fire for a bit, and he just like places it on a clay plate and puts it in front of you.
Survival cooking.
This is our finest delicacy.
Well, thank you very much. Graham will try some rat.
Uh, it's cooked thoroughly, well done. The kind of meat just falls off the bone, but it definitely doesn't taste great. It has, well, not that you can really taste much right now, but the fur is like it just kind of in your mouth. The bone. You
Ew.
see this creature in front of you. He just takes a bit of rat and he just kind of like swallows it. You can see it begin to dissolve in his mouth.
Damn. Yeah, these the acid boys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There seems to be many differences between what I was expecting. I assumed that everyone was like I am upon the surface.
It's a big weird world out there. Takes all kinds.
Huh. Well then, I'm sorry. I really just don't know how to proceed with this. It's
Yeah.
we'd long told stories that we would be eventually visited by those who came from the Arwellan Empire. It's not like I imagined, however.
It's been a very long time. The Empire is in a different place than they used to be, or maybe back where they used to be, if you want to think of it that way.
It's certainly been a while. We'd long hoped that they would return eventually. However, the priesthood has told us that we should keep faith that you would eventually return, and here you are.
Here we
What can you tell me about your protector god?
The guardian is the source of all of our protection. Without him, the dwellers below would have killed us long, long ago. It has been here as long as we have. It protects us, keeps us safe. It enforces the laws. Criminals are destroyed by the guardian god. It ensures that our society
Hmm,
functions.
let's see.
I suppose I can't really say much. To me, it's completely normal, but I imagine to you it maybe isn't. I would have
Yeah,
thought maybe you would know more about it. Although I suppose. That is maybe not true.
Well, it's been a while, is all I can tell you.
Interesting. Well, I must admit this is a completely different from. I built this whole thing up in my head, and then the
I'm
whole
sorry,
thing
I've
has
been there.
completely fallen apart. But um, we do have many places. We've built the city up to welcome the visitors for when they arrive. So we do have the priesthood, who do the primary commune with the guardian. Um, we have different folks throughout the city who would be quite interested to meet you. Um, we have elected a mayor. We have gambling halls,
Hmm,
places to rest and relax. Uh,
there you go. We're not so different.
yes, we've modeled our society off of the teachings of the Arwellan Empire to the best of our ability. We are incapable of using magic,
Hmm,
mostly. Um, I would say you have near free reign of the city, although I would just recommend not going down um, towards the southern side of the city, towards the entrance that separates us from the actual dwellers below, as that is where the guardian god currently is doing battle with them, and where we, of course, have sent any of our dissidents to either engage in the war or be destroyed by the guardian.
I see. That happen often?
Once in a while, some people occasionally get the wild idea that the guardian is not acting in our best interest, but we would have been dead 1,000 times over if not for it. So I cannot see their rationale.
I see. I see.
Well then, um, I'm sure you have many questions.
One or two.
Well, ask away. I'm the Lord Keeper, of course. So it's my duty, to, in fact, to provide knowledge.
Tell me, tell me about your people.
Ah, we are the remnants. We have dwelled down here for centuries. We're not sure our origins. We believe that we are descended from the initial researchers who were down here, the artificers, who worked for Zaffeller.
Hmm,
We have declared ourselves the guardians, the stewards, I suppose would be a better way to say this, of this level. We have not proceeded up further, as the Guardian has prevented us from doing so, and we cannot dwell further below, as we are in a war with the dwellers. So, been stuck here, but we've made the best of it. We've made a home, a society. We've kept the practices of the Arwellans. Uh, we, I suppose, are such a small society, though we've not been able to successfully integrate slavery as the Arwellans had, or expand out as they have want to do. But we have done our best to mimic their society. Uh, Although I suppose with some centuries of drift, there may be some cultural differences. So if you're familiar with the Arwellans, if there's any differences between how we and they act, please accept that this is our dearest apology.
ah, no, no trouble. It's I'm kind of an interesting and unusual historian, as it were. Uh, Graham will briefly explain how he sees dead people, and dead people includes the ghosts of old Orwellans.
Oh, fascinating. Yes, we've maintained the necromancy guilds, although they've been less useful at actually doing necromancy. But they've been able to maintain the actual rituals of death that have been known to exist. Um, They have been able to say the rites and worship the guardian as they are capable of doing. Especially after our dealings with the heretics, that would be uh, related to Dentar. And if you'd like, you can make a history or religion check. Okay.
Yay!
I'll be
Uh,
right back real quick.
They're decent.
You've heard the name Dentar the Warden before, who would be the Arwellan god of death and earth. You've never heard of any Arwellan refer to his worshippers as a heretic, of course.
Yeah. Grim will ask about that, but hang on, my cats are fighting.
Okay. While Otto and Graham are dealing with something, what's everybody else doing? What's Fiffle and Fern doing?
What's that? You come on.
Just trying to follow all this history conversation.
Yeah.
Piffle's like looking back and forth from one to the other, like, trying to look smart.
I mean, Fiffle, you also notice there's a bunch of like people around tables. I mean, they're eyeballing you, of course, because you're new and interesting, but they are just kind of playing cards. One table playing cards, one card table playing dice.
My vocabulary is that of a photosynthesis.
They have games of chance under the ground here, huh? Piffle saunters over to the dice players to see if their dicing makes any sense to his above ground ways.
The dice. You used to dice with 6 sides. This has 8, but it looks like it's similar in style to what you've done. Like you kind of, they invite you. A game of chance, perhaps, friend.
Why, yes.
All
I
right.
enjoy such games.
I too like to live dangerously.
We're not playing very high stakes, unfortunately. If you're used to that, and you kind of just. Although you do notice that the table has a nice pile of gold on it, probably at least a good 20 gold.
What's the buy-in?
Small game, just 5 gold.
Okay. I will gamble with use.
All right, this is pretty simple. Rules are as followed. You just are going to attempt to get you basically roll your dice, and then you're going to try and match basically any kind of points you want, all the same number, or it in a row. And it kind of shows like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to have a center dice here, and you'll be able to kind of pull from the center and swap out. And he just kind of gives you the rules of the dice.
All right.
But it's mostly luck, not a ton of strategy, for this game at least. As this one is meant more for people who have been partaking of our particular brew. Would you like some? And he kind of shoves over a glass, like kind of like clay glass that.
I'm back, by the way. I'm just Otto's watching this.
Graham like shaking his head, like no.
Yeah,
Also-
Fiffle, you see it kind of like bubbling.
Also, is this a game that's played up on the surface that I would have noticed, like during my tavern days?
Make a history check.
Where's history? Hello?
Hello.
There might be 2, by the way.
Okay.
Okay, just one more.
13. It looks similar to a kind of old Arwellan game that would be way out of date. Yeah, I really haven't seen anything like it played before.
Do I know? Do I recognize the modernized version of it?
You'd probably put the modernized version of it as played with cards, and it would be similar to poker.
Okay.
Just with much less strategy, a lot less bluffing, as everybody can see everybody else's dice.
Okay. I watch intently. I'll
Okay.
be like, Final Fantasy 15 is like, I've come up with a new gambling game.
You introduce triple triad and just coke out the entire world.
But yes, if you'd like, just roll 6 of these dice, and we'll roll our dice, and then we'll pull from the center, and we'll see who can produce the best.
I'm rolling 6d8s.
Yep.
So let's see if this is usable.
And if it comes down to it, yeah. Not bad.
I
And
got fair. Is that good?
let's see. So he rolls. So you got. And now we'll have our dealer roll the center, and we will compare what we have. He looks to his, so he says, "Oh, it looks like you win, my friend. You have," and he kind of points to your 3 8s and your 2 1s. Sadly, I only have 2 1s. Although I do get. He looks. 4 3s. You're still the winner, though.
Ah.
And he kind of slides over your 10 gold to you.
Aha.
The secret is gambling.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, and Graham, you wanted to know about Dentar because that's you had about the heretics. Yep. So what were you asking him exactly?
Can you tell me the story about this heresy?
Oh, it's a little. Yes, I suppose I should tell you. Is you probably are going to be confused about it, but yes, there was at one point a belief that a high priest named Dentar was in fact a god and had been worshipped as such for funerary rites and by the necromantic guilds. However, the guardian god here has been able to put down those heretics and return the various orthodoxy of it being the actual god below here, and that Dentar was merely just a high priest to it, and as such would not have been a god and would not have the correct rights.
I see. Can I insight this guy's and see if he's like? It feels like he's conflict. God fucking damn it! I hate this. It's always the shit I'm supposed to be good at.
Yeah, it's run a little low, but you're not really sure. I mean, honestly, sounds maybe a little nervous talking about it, but seems to be on the level. I mean, Otto could roll an insight if he would like. Wait, is actually Ed back?
I could do an insight.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, what happened? I'm back. I forgot to unmute myself.
There you go. Fern, you are relatively Fern. You're like pretty much 99% sure this guy is telling the truth as far as he is aware of it.
I was trying to go for like his comfort level with saying this. Like it sounds like there might be some divine 1984 shit going on with their guardian god / warden.
Yeah, he's not like comfortable talking about this. Obviously, doesn't want to talk about heretics. As far as you're aware, he is telling you the truth, as he understands it.
Okay.
That being said, it does not match everything or anything you know about the Arwellan Empire and their religious rites, and in fact, what he's saying would be pretty much heresy in itself.
Is this where Guard Deep Fell just busted in through a portal?
Perhaps.
So I miss anything when I step away? We have a plan.
Fiffle got some money.
I did. Yeah, I was watching the game. I did come back for that.
And if Rami were here, I could definitely have a slightly more complex thing that would lead to him losing money somehow.
That would be like 3 sessions worth,
You would
bro.
never do something just to fuck with Rami.
I
I'm
don't.
probably drinking the acid, right?
I don't fuck with Rami. It's that Kaido can lead to very interesting and fun scenarios, and I like doing that, even if it's maybe slightly detrimental. But mostly, I think he comes out on top. Mostly,
That's
They mostly
debatable.
come out at night.
No, okay. I see that the game was like poker, basically.
technically, Texas Hold'em, but yes.
But yeah, anything. Hmm. So what else is there for us? We need to interrogate anybody, Graham?
No, I'm just continuing to try to figure out the lay of the land down here.
Hmm. We could take a look around if we do have free.
Oh yes, there's free reign. I just would recommend that you stay from the southern tunnels.
Okay. I assume that's where the Guardian thing is happening, right?
Yep.
He
Okay.
is making his way down there in pursuit of the war against our enemy. Yes, but Sonari is also in commune with him as we speak. She has I saw her enter into the tunnels, and she should be returning shortly.
Ooh, exciting.
We are actually a criminal has been found guilty of theft, and is going to be destroyed by the Guardian. If you would like to see it, I imagine it would be incredibly interesting to you. I'm well aware that the Arwellan Empire was a definitely interested in enforcing law and order. So I'm sure this would be something that would be.
I would
I'm trying
be
to. I guess I'm trying to brag and kind of puff up our society we've built down here.
I would be interested in seeing this. I was thinking like he would like to see what this Guardian is.
Okay. Also, go ahead and make a history check.
Everybody or just Otto?
Anybody who had heard it and would like to. Okay.
Finally. Crivens.
Yes, 11. This is better than I could have hoped for.
Yeah, Graham. Theft typically within the Arwellan Empire, officially theft was never punished by death. It would be punished by enslavement or
No snoo.
He
jailed.
must have stolen something pretty big to be marked for death.
Um, stole some food.
Ah,
Mm.
damn it. Graham Graham is getting that feeling again,
Do you
but
need some more
keeps it
acid?
to himself.
Do you need more acid?
Ah,
Well,
I see.
uh, yes, actually, and you can hear some people proceeding outside. You see that they are. It is for these creatures. They are kind of dressed all in black. They are holding a kind of large clay pot, um, approximately about a little taller than Fiffle and Fern, a little shorter than you and Otto. The pot itself has been stopped up, and you can hear kind of screaming coming from within it. You see these executioners kind of bringing the pot, and they kind of leave it at the entrance to the southern tunnels. As they step back, you can see a kind of crowd growing around, and like I hear a sloshing sound coming from within the tunnels itself. And you can see from the water that's kind of proceeding out of it, or actually in this case, you believe it to be acid, a tentacle, you believe, kind of come out and wrap around this clay jar and pull it in, and you hear the screaming grow louder before just instantly silence.
Hmm. Well,
You at that point see Sinari enter in. It looks worried, comes up to you. I have communed with the Guardian. I looks a little nervous, not sure how to say this. It has declared you to be interlopers and have demanded that you be destroyed. I give you. Sorry, kind of looks around. I, I, I apologize. You must be destroyed by the Guardian.
No, I guess
These things happen.
I'm not unsurprised. We can speak more later if we have a later. But
I will not
let's go
fight
see the
you.
Guardian.
Why are we being destroyed by the Guardian?
We're
We've been
interlopers.
declared interlopers because we're gonna disrupt his weird little acid cult thing.
Oh, why? We don't have to disrupt it.
These things,
Can't we give him firm assurances, Mr. Guardian, sir?
just give us your magic glue and we'll just leave.
I'm willing to sign a contract that I will not fuck with your weird acid cult.
You just give us the magic items and we leave.
Yeah. Wait. You think he'll do that?
No, I think we're fighting to the death.
Damn.
I know.
Oh boy.
But
All right. Well, are you gonna destroy us, or is he gonna destroy us?
I will not interfere with you. I have.
It's like a Gozer summoning the destroyer kind of.
Hmm.
Everybody clear your
You're like
minds.
the buzzing of flies to him.
Hey guys, you might want to eat your fern snacks.
We
Oh, we have
have.
one.
Fern snacks, because two of them went to the Sphinx.
We have one.
Who wants the fern snack?
3 temporary hit points.
You know what? I'll take it if nobody minds, because I, drank
Good.
the acid like a smart boy.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Tasty, tasty
So
acid.
you're only -1 now.
Yep. Math and magic.
Those temporary hit points soothe your throat.
Just slowly regrow my tongue. Well, I guess let's go get this over with one way or the other. And who wants protection from acid? Because somebody can have the damage they take, and I feel like it's somebody who's going to be in melee with the fucker who should have it.
No, I'll let you go.
So I think it's probably Otto.
That's what I think is about to happen.
So as we go over, Graham is just going to go ahead and cast that on you.
Okay.
And we'll see if my concentration holds up.
I will put a little blue.
Time to rear line it.
Sonari does speak to you in a low voice, however. There are some here who perhaps you may wish to speak to before you are destroyed by the Guardian.
In that case, I hold off, if I can.
Speak to them quickly. Sonari kind of points a way to the north. Check there first before you are destroyed.
Okay. All right.
There's, I suppose, no necessary time limit, although if you do not go soon, the Guardian will come for you. I don't believe anybody in our city will actually cause you any hurt or torment, at least not physically. But
He's capable of hurting you in other ways.
I give you what word I can. So,
Well, thank you very much. Let's get this going.
all right.
And let's.
But we will pick this up
Yeah.
next week.